Good evening, dear children. So we are going to start our lesson today. So we are continuing the vectors lesson. Okay. First of all, as a small warm up, I will ask you to go through the lesson vectors briefly within 2-3 minutes time. Then I will give you a short description about vectors. Then we will start. Okay then. Okay. Sheet 12. Be prepared. Go through the notes roughly. Going to start the lesson, nah? Okay. Okay. So I will give you a short description about vectors first. Vectors are, in physics, vector is a physical quantity which is having a magnitude and a direction both. Take a physical quantity like time, it doesn't have a direction. It's a scalar, but a vector, the best example is a force. Force is having a magnitude and a direction both. We are when we say a force, it's a push or pull. It has a certain direction as well as a magnitude. So these are vectors. Okay. Now vectors are in the nature. Sometimes we push someone using a rope. We pull something. So vectors are in the nature. Okay. The physical quantities which are having a direction and a magnitude. So how to show a vector, how to denote a vector in our book. That is the next thing. When we need to show a vector in our book, say a 10 Newton force, we have to draw a straight line. We have to draw a straight line in a certain scale. 1 centimeter will show a 1 Newton value. Then from 10 centimeters, a 10 Newton vector is interpreted. So if you want to interpret a 10 Newton force, according to the scale you have selected, from 1 centimeter 1 Newton. Likewise, you have to draw a 10 centimeter line, and it should be directed to the force where the vector is actually working. So this Newton force is working to the northeast direction, northeast. Likewise, vector is shown by a straight line drawn to a scale to show the size or the magnitude and directed to the real direction of the vector. And likewise, the vector lesson, we are continuing it now. Here, after denoting the vectors in a book, after studying the denoting method of vectors in our book, the next thing was to understand how two vectors become equal to each other. I'm just giving a short description how two vectors become equal to each other. When they are equal in size, for two vectors to become equal, they should have the same size. First, they should have the same type. Force will be equal to another force, not a velocity. Force is equal to another force. The vector should be in same type. Then the vector should have the same magnitude. The vector should have the same, two vectors should have the same direction. Okay, so these are the things that for two vectors, the qualities that needed for two vectors to be equal to each other. Okay, then little by little we developed our lesson and we came to a very important point. That was the addition of vectors. Addition of vectors. Sometimes we tell it as the addition of vectors, but the exact name is the resultant vector. So we came to the topic resultant vector. What is the meaning of a resultant vector? The meaning of a resultant vector is consider two vectors. When the two vectors are applied on a certain, when two vectors are applied to a certain thing, or when two vectors are there in a certain situation, what will be the result? The result of two vectors is known as the resultant vector. So to find the resultant vector, we had many laws. Okay. So when we were finding the resultant vector, first law was the triangle law. First law was the triangle law. In triangle law, what we did? Say a displacement vector, one person is getting displaced from this place to this place in a vector like this. He is directing to this side like this. And from here, he will move like this. So there are two vectors. In the triangle law, it says, if you want the resultant, you start from here and go to the end point. This is the resultant. It's very clear. It's true. If someone works from here to here and then works from here to here, what is the resultant? He has to work from this place to this place, the displacement vector. Triangle law to take the addition of vectors. Addition, resultant, final result. This is the result. And then we came to the polygon law. In polygon law, what we said? This is the first vector. This is the second vector. This is the third vector. Say a person is walking like this. He walks to this point. And from this point, he walks to this point. And from here, he walks like this. If this thing happens, what is the result? He has walked from here to here. This is the result. This is the resultant vector. Polygon law. Okay. Then we came to the parallelogram law. To take the resultant vector, to see the result, what has happened due to two or more vectors. Then we came to the parallelogram law. In parallelogram law, what was going on? Actually, the polygon law and the triangle law, they are perfect to understand a vector like a display. They are perfect to understand a vector like displacement. Displacement moving from one place to other place in the shortest line. Moved like this, moved like this. What is the result? We showed it from the red color arrow. But this parallelogram law, it is best to understand the result, the resultant vector, the result of a set of forces. Okay? Of a set of forces. Here, see, now there's an object like this. On this object, there's a force acting like this, F1. From the same point, there's another force acting like this, F2. Okay? When these two forces are acting, what is the result? I ask you to do a small experiment with your mother or father or with your brothers at home last week. I asked you to take a chair like this. And to tie two strings. And say here, you are the person here. You are pulling the chair by the string. So the force acting is F1. Then I asked you to tie another string to the chair from this side and ask your brothers to push it like this, F2. Pull it like this, F2. And I ask you to see what's happening there. You are applying two simultaneous forces at the same time, two vectors at the same time. You need to see the addition or the result, F1 and F2. You will see that the chair is moving in a path like this. So what has happened? The result is a new thing, a new path that is taken. If the chair is just pushed or pulled through this string, chair will move in this direction. If the chair is just pulled through this force, the chair will move in this direction. But as soon as you are applying the both forces, both vectors simultaneously, chair will take a new path. A resultant vector has both. To find that kind of a thing, I suggested the parallelogram law. In parallelogram law, what you have to do? In parallelogram law, you have to take these two vectors acting from the same place. You have to take the two vectors acting from the same place and make them the adjacent legs of a parallelogram. So to draw a parallelogram, you have to draw equal sized parallel line here. You have to draw equal sized parallel line here. Then another equal sized parallel line here. Equal sized parallel line here. And you have to complete the parallelogram. After you complete the parallelogram, you have to draw this diagonal. This diagonal is showing you the result, the resultant force. The diagonal is showing you the resultant force. Actually, I asked you to do this experiment at home. If you have done it already, you will see it. When you are tying two strings to a chair like this from the same point and simultaneously at the same time, when you are pulling them like this, the path that the chair actually moved, it was the diagonal. You can interpret this vector like I have done, then draw the line like this and interpret this vector as I have done to draw the parallelogram. Then you will see the actual path that was taken by the chair is along the diagonal. Then you will experience it. Okay, so remember, parallelogram law is a very important law. In parallelogram law, it says when there are two vectors acting on an object from the same point, make them the two adjacent legs of a parallelogram and create the diagonal. Diagonal will show the resultant. Of this object will move in this direction when these two forces are applied on it. Okay, the parallelogram law. Then we are very close to the end point last week. Then what happened? Then this is the thing. Then there was another problem. This triangle law, polygon law, parallelogram law, they are not bad. But in the real case scenario, we have to draw the vectors, draw a parallelogram, geometrically correct, in order to get the correct answer. It is easy to show that we are doing like this, but geometrically we have to draw them in order to take the answer. So as the final topic, we discussed the method, a mathematical equation to take the resultant vector. We discussed a mathematical equation to take the resultant vector. A mathematical equation to take the resultant vector. How to take the resultant vector from a mathematical equation? Let's go through it one time. This is the object. Okay, let's go through it one time. I am proving the mathematical equation to get the resultant vector. This is the object. I am acting a force on it like this, F1, and the next force acting on is F2. Then from the capability of parallelogram law, I will complete the parallelogram. By drawing a equal sized leg here and an equal sized leg parallel to this leg. Okay. And for the symbols, I'm here. It's not only for force. For any vector, this law is correct. So generally, this leg is known as this vector is known as P. And this vector is known as Q. The general symbols. This vector is known as P. This vector is known as Q. Okay. Then what happened? The in-between angle is named as theta. From my parallelogram law, I know for the P and Q vectors, result will be this R. Result will be this R. I know that. So this was my technique to find this R value. This is my technique. You can do it in a rough work paper. You can do it with me too. What I did in a rough work paper, you can do it with me. What I did, I draw a line like this and length the vector up to this point perpendicularly. Then I mark the letters A, B, C, D, E. And this is the plan. P and Q are my two vectors. P and Q are my two vectors. Using this P and Q two vectors, I am planning to build up an equation to find the value R. P here, Q here. I need an equation to find R. As this is, and our helper is the parallelogram law. From the parallelogram law, I have completed the parallelogram keeping P and Q as the adjacent legs and R as the diagonal. So this is my plan. This is my plan. If the angle here is theta, if the angle here is theta, what will happen? As these legs are parallel, angle here will also be theta. From my trigonometry knowledge, sin theta is equal to the opposite leg CE divided by the hypotenuse. As this is the parallelogram, if this leg is length Q, value is Q, this vector is Q. As a parallelogram, these opposite legs are equal. Here also it's Q. If this leg is Q, the size of this leg is also Q. The vector Q. Okay, so sin theta, opposite leg CE divided by hypotenuse Q. What will happen? CE is equal to Q sin theta. Then we did another thing. What is cos theta? What is cos theta? Adjacent leg here, DE. Adjacent leg. You can do it with me again in rough work paper. Cos theta, adjacent leg, DE divided by the hypotenuse value equal to this, as it's a parallelogram Q. DE over Q. So, DE is equal to Q cos theta. Now I know if this is Q and this is theta, by the trigonometry, CE is Q sin theta. And if this is Q, if this is DE, from trigonometry using cos theta, this part is Q cos theta. This part is Q cos theta. This part is Q sin theta. So this is the next plan to take the ACE right angle triangle. Take in the ACE right angle triangle. On this ACE right angle triangle, the hypotenuse is the R, the resultant vector. Can you see? R. So R is square. Hypotenuse is square. R square is equal to CE square. Can you see it? CE square plus AE square. AE square. If this is P, if this is Q, I need the length of the diagonal, the result. R square. CE, Q sin theta. For CE, it's Q sin theta now. So R square, Pythagoras. Q sin theta square plus, what is the other leg? AE. What is AE? Can you see I am drawing through AE? From here to here, it's P. From here to here, up from A to D, the value is P, vector P. From there, it is added by a additional value q cos theta. So from A to E, the total length is P plus q cos theta. Total length P plus q cos theta. Okay, P plus q cos theta. Cos theta square. So what will happen? R square is equal to q sin theta square. Q is square. How to write sin theta square? Sin square theta plus P plus q cos theta. Let's expand it. A plus B square. A square. P square. 2AB. 2 PQ cos theta. Then what happened? Q cos theta square. Q cos theta full square. Expanded it. Okay? Okay. R square, Q square, sin square theta, when square in the Q sin theta value. Here when expanding, I got a P square 2PQ cos theta and the Q cos theta part completely squared. So it shows a Q square and cos theta square, writing as cos square theta. What else? Q sin square theta is finished. I took it. Then this after the expansion q cos theta squaring, I took it closer to here. That's a p square remaining. I'm writing it now. And multiplication while the expanding 2pq cos theta is also there. 2pq cos theta. What happened? R square is equal to, taking q square outside, here it's sin square theta plus cos square theta. Q square, here it's sin square theta plus cos square theta within the brackets. Then p square plus 2pq cos theta. What happened? R square is equal to p square, sin square plus cos square theta from previous week. From previous week, sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. Trigonometry, I have done them. 1. So q square plus p square plus 2pq cos theta. As the final answer, R square is equal to the resultant of these p and q vectors. Resultant is square p square plus q square 2pq cos theta. That's the final answer. You can use this final answer simply without any proof. But do the proof and practice it. In your school, in your first term test, they like to ask these kind of things. Okay, so keep it practiced. The resultant is equal to p square plus q square 2pq cos theta. And again, what is the direction of R? What is the direction of R? If it is alpha here, we had a method to find the angle alpha, tan alpha. What is the alpha value here? Tan alpha, tan alpha, tan alpha. If this is angle is alpha, tan alpha opposite leg CE. CE is equal to Q sin theta. If I am taking tan alpha, CE, the opposite leg Q sin theta plus AE, the adjacent leg P plus Q cos theta full length. P plus Q cos theta full length. And this equation is also accepted. You can straight away use it. Now what happens? You have two mathematical equations. If you know the vectors P and Q both, you can apply R square is equal to P square plus Q square plus 2pq cos theta to find the value of the result. And to find the angle of R with the P, if you consider a vector as P, you are naming your vector as P. With that vector P, what is the angle? Alpha that this R, the result, creates. Where the result lies, where the chair moves finally when you pull the chair by P and Q forces, where R lies with the angle alpha with P. What is that? Tan alpha is equal to Q sin theta over P plus Q cos theta. Okay, so these are the things. After that, what we did? Then we came to the fifth question and we completed the fifth question. Okay, now I need you to do the seventh question. Seventh question 8th question and the 9th question. Now I need you to do the 7th question, 8th question and the 9th question. For the 6th question, there's a small correction you have to do. For the 6th question, look at the 6th question in your tute. Look at the 6th question in your tute. For those who haven't get the tute, I will send it now. Okay, wait. For the 6th question, for the 6th question, there's a small addition you have to do. In the 6th question, 80 Newton and 100 Newton forces are mentioned. 80 Newton and 100 Newton forces are mentioned. But the angle is not given. Angle in between is 60. At this, at this. The in-between angle is 60. 180 Newton forces, in-between angle is 60. Okay? And find the resultant force. Do it at home. Now I need the 7th question and 8th question and the 9th question. Okay? Children who haven't received the tute, children who need the tute, can you send me a personal, at the moment our institute's phone is with me when I'm in a live class. So at the moment, for the students who need the tute, vectors tute, can keep me a personal WhatsApp message and I can send it. Students who need the, I think almost all of you have received it, but in any case, for a student who joined last week or newly joining for the new month, for the vector tute, you can keep a personal message and I will send you the tute through WhatsApp. Okay? Now, yes, I will send it. Received some messages. Meantime, you continue. You continue 7th, 8th and the 9th tute. Okay, Puta, I will send it. Okay, Puta. For those who message me, now I have sent the tute. Okay, you will receive the tute after the registration process. You will receive the tute, sir. Okay. Wait, Pute, I'm sending. Okay. Send the tutes for those who ask me. Okay, do the 7th, 8th and 9th question, children. Seventh, 8th and 9th question. For the 6th question at something, the angle was not given, it's 60. For the 6th question, angle was not given, it's 60. Add it, Puta. Okay. For the students who sent me the message now, I have already sent the tute. Okay. Let's go to the let's go to the 7th question. And if you have finished up to 9th question, it's your duty to start the 10th question. In the 10th question, I am suggesting part 1, part 2 and part 4. If you have finished the 7, 8 and 9 questions, go to the 10th question, part 1, 2 and 4. And if you have finished the 10th question, then there are two 11s. First 11, the second 11 means the 12. Okay, do them. Can finished up to the 12th question. There are two 11s. That means the second 11 is the 12th. Do all these questions at the moment. Okay, for the sixth question, in between angle is 60. You have to add that. Okay, I'll be starting. There's a small object like this. I don't know whether it's small or not. There's an object like this. On this object, a 120 root 2 Newton, 120 root 2 Newton force is acting on it on this direction at an angle of 60 with the horizontal. And in the other side, it's a 80 Newton force. It's a 80 Newton force acting on it, keeping an angle of 60 with the horizontal from the other way. Find the resultant force acting on the object. Find the resultant force acting on the object. Okay. Now I will name this vector as P and I will name this vector as Q. What is the case? No one will exactly tell you to take this vector as P, take this vector as Q. It's not essential. You have the authority. Take this as P and I'm taking the other as Q. But after you select P and Q, obey it when you are substituting into the equation. Obey what's P and obey what's Q. Okay? Correctly substitute it. The resultant R square is equal to P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. It's very easy than the triangle law or the parallelogram law. Nothing to draw, no geometry, just an equation and a substitution. P 120 root 2 square plus Q 80 square plus 2 P 120 root 2 Q 80 cos theta. What is the cos theta value? Theta is the in-between angle. If you have 60 and 60 from both sides, 60 and 60 from both sides, in the middle, there's another 60 value. Theta is the in-between angle. If you have two 60s from both sides to fill the 180, there's a 60 in the middle. So it should be a cos 60 value. It should be a cos 60 value. 120 root 2 square. 120 square into 2. 120 square into 2. Then 80 square plus 2 120 root 2 80 cos 60 is equal to half. Cos 60 is equal to half from trigonometry. From trigonometry, using the triangles, we proved that if there's an angle 60 inside the triangle, when you divide the adjacent leg by the hypotenuse of that triangle, the ratio you get, the cos value, when the vertex is having an angle of 60, cos 60 is equal to half. We have proved it. Okay? Now this is the way. Half will cancel out. So it's 120 square. 120 square you have to consider now. 4,400, 14,400 plus 6,400, 6,400 into 120 into 80. 120 into 80. 120 into 80 multiplied by root 2. 13,574.4. Sir, will there be bad simplifications like this? Not always, but there can be. So that's why I added the one. Sometimes 50-50, yeah? Sometimes simplification is not that much worse. Okay, it's bad, but it's not worse like this. Sometimes it's worse. Okay, so you have to be careful. So root 2 means root 2 is equal to 1.414, and you have to substitute here, and simplification will be it's a disaster. Okay, it's a disaster. Okay, at the moment I'll stop from here, but remember simplifications to be, you need to practice the simplification. I'm not wasting my time every time simplifying all these things, but remember sometimes there can be simplification like this, and not always, but you have to be prepared. So r square, finally you have to take the square root also. Finally you have to take the square root also. Okay, this is the result. And okay, it's when you are asked to find the result, you need to find the tan alpha value also, because force is a vector, not just the magnitude. To have idea about the direction, tan alpha is also needed. So you have to substitute in tan alpha equation also. We did it last week, and we are doing it now in the coming time within the class today. We are doing it tan alpha substitution again, but here I just need to move up. I just need to move, because I'm not willing to take more and more time just simplifying answers. I'm continuing. Not only r, you have to find the tan alpha value, but don't worry now, because we are applying this tan alpha equation again and again in the coming questions. Leave it now. Now you know the idea that in some questions simplification might get worse. Prepare for it. With time we will prepare. I need to continue. And I'm coming to the 8th question. I'm coming to the 8 questions. I had to show you many things today, that's why, yeah? Okay. Two forces equal to 4 newtons acting on an object. 8th question. This is your order to follow. This is your order. Two forces equal to 4 newtons acting on an object from same point. This is the first force, P. I'm naming as P, 4 newtons. And both forces are equal to 4. The other force acting, I'm naming as Q. It is also 4 newtons. Okay? Acting on an object from a same point on an object, giving a resultant. This time the resultant value is given. Resultant is 4 root 3. Resultant is equal to 4 root 3 newtons. You are asked to find the theta in between angle, the angle between the vectors. The theta value is to be found. Theta. P vector I am naming as 4Q, the same size, in between angle theta. Resultant is 4 root 3. R square is equal to P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. R, the resultant is given 4 root 3. 4 root 3 square is equal to P square. 4 square Q. Q is also 4. 4 square 2. P is 4. Q is 4. Cos theta. It's unknown. I don't know the value for theta. Cos theta. It's unknown. Okay, let's continue. Resultant 4 root 3 square. 4 square, it's already 16. Root 3 square, it's 3. 4 square 16, root 3 square, it's 3. P square, 4 square 16, Q square, 4 square 16. 16 into 2, 32, cos theta. 16 into 3, 48. 16 plus 16, 32, plus 32 cos theta. Here the simplification is not bad. A friendly simplification. 48 minus 32 is 16. 48 minus 32 is 16. 32 cos theta. 16 over 32 is cos theta, and cos theta is equal to half. In a right angle triangle, consider the angle with this vertex is theta. If you divide the adjacent leg by the hypotenuse, adjacent leg EABC, adjacent leg AB divided by the hypotenuse AC. If theta is 60, you get the value half. We have done them under trigonometry. Cos theta becomes half if theta is 60. Cos theta adjacent leg divided by the hypotenuse, that ratio becomes half if the theta value is 60. So for the cos theta, it's half. Cos theta becomes half when theta is 60. So the answer in between angle is equal to 60. Okay, continue children. Continue, don't wait for me. Continue, you have to finish up to 12th question. Okay. When you are continuing up to 12th question, you will find some new sharp points also. I'll come to them. You just continue. I'll be coming. Okay, I'm going to the 9th question now. In the 9th question, what they say, two forces are they acting on an object, 9r and 2 root 2r. One force is equal to 9r. I'm numbering it as the vector p. P is equal to 9r. Vector q is equal to 2 root 2r. If two vectors are 9r and 2 root 2r, what is the resultant vector? You can draw the parallelogram, you can draw the diagonal, and you can geometrically do this. But instead of the geometry, there's an equation proved using the geometry, Pythagoras, and many more. Okay, now we have it as a property. If the two vectors, vector p is 9r, vector q is 2 root 2r. So what is the result? Result square, r square is equal to p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta. Sir, isn't the result is named as r? So what is this disgusting r here? I don't like this r. I also don't like. But these kind of things happen. What is this? It's just a multiplication factor to confuse you. These kind of things happen. Normally, r, the symbol r stands for the resultant. You know that. So here, resultant is square, p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta. It's the actual way. Sometimes r or whatever symbol can be used as a multiplication factor. Say vector p is equal to 9 times k. Vector q is equal to 2 root times k. 2 root 2 times k. K is a multiplication factor. Likewise, without giving, normally the multiplication factor is symbolized by k. But sometimes they do these kind of things to confuse you. Don't get confused with this r here. It's a multiplication factor like k. What is vector p? It's 9 times r. What is vector q? It's 2 root 2 times r. What is r? It's a multiplication factor, not the result. Result is also named by r, and result is here, and we are finding it. Inside the vectors, just as a factor, multiplication factor, symbol r is used. don't confuse that R with the result R. So why you gave it to us? I gave it to you because they do these kind of things. I needed you to show it. Okay, that's why I gave you. Okay, the result square R square P 9R. They are 9 times a factor. 9R square Q 2 root times a factor. Factor is R, 2 root 2 R. 2 root 2 R square. R square 9R square 2 root 2 R square plus 2. P is equal to 9R. P is equal to 9R. Then Q is equal to 2 root 2 R. 2 root 2 R cos theta. Cos theta. Okay. R square is equal to 9R square 2 root 2 R square 2. P is equal to 9R Q 2 root 2 R cos theta. Okay. R square is equal to 81 R square plus 2 root 2. 2 root 2 square of 2 is 4. Root 2 is giving a square of 2. 2 into 4, 8 R square. Plus, okay, plus here 2 times 9, 18. 18 times 2, 36. 36 R square. 36 root 2. 36 root 2. 18. 36 root 2. R square cos theta. So this is the value. After this only you get the feeling of the next step. Now what will you see? Now you will get the answer. Now you have to think it again. What is this R? It's a multiplication factor, and what is that value? To find the cos theta, to find theta, this R should cancel out. R should cancel out. So what is the multiplication factor that they have used? They have used the size of the resultant vector as the multiplication factor. What is the actual meaning? If the result is R, P is 9 times the R. If the result is R, Q is 2 root 2 times R. So R is the multiplication factor. It is just the multiplication factor. You are continuing at this step, you get cleared. You see, you understand what's going on here. What they have done. Consider result as R. If so, P had the value of 9 times R as the multiplication factor. Consider result as R. Then to become result as R, Q was having a value of 2.2 root 2 times R. So R is a factor. So easily you can cut it there. You can cut it there. Okay, then here you have 81 plus 8. 81 plus 8. 81 plus 8. 89 plus 36 root 2 cos theta. 36 root 2 cos theta. Okay, and here I need to check whether I have done a mistake. The resultant is 5 root 5R. The resultant is 5 root 5R. The result is not just R, it's 5 root 5 times R. Result is 5 root 5 times R. Okay, I have to do the correction. Result is 5 root 5 times R. Okay, this is the result. And you get the result square here. What is the result? It's 5 root 5 times that of R. R is the multiplication factor, and I read it again, and I have done a mistake here. Now I got it. I read it again. The result is not just R, not just the factor R, 5 root 5 times R. 5 root 5 times R. Okay, so 5 square, 25. Into root 5 square, 5 R square. 125 R square is the left side of the equation. 5 root 5 square, 125. R square is the left side. The right side 89r square, 8r square plus 36 root 2 r square cos theta. R square will cancel out now. 125 is equal to 89 plus 8 plus 36 root 2 cos theta. 125, it's 81 plus 8. 18, now it's 89 and this much. Okay. Now here you have 36. 125 minus 89, you have 36 equal to 36 root 2 cos theta. 36 will cancel out, root 2 will come down. 1 over root 2 is equal to cos theta. If in a right angle triangle, in a vertex, there's an angle of 45. If you take the cos value by adjacent leg, dividing it by the hypotenuse, for the 45, the cos value, for the angle 45, whatever the right angle triangle you draw, if a vertex has an angle of 45, when you check the ratio of cos adjacent divided by hypotenuse, you will receive 1 over root 2. That's the method I have taught you in trigonometry. So, if cos theta value is having a value 1 over root 2, that means corresponding theta is 45. Corresponding theta is 45. So, the in-between angle is 45. The physical meaning of this question, if there are two vectors, one having a value of 9 times r and the other having a value of 2 root times r, and the resultant is having a value of 5 root 5 times r, for such a thing to happen, the in-between angle should be 45. That's the reading of this question. Okay. Now, go to the question number 10, 11 and 12. Question number 10, 11 and 12. In question number 10, you have to find this tan alphas also. You have to find this tan alphas also. I think there's a message. I think you have noticed my simplification mistake. It should be the message. Sir, can we write the answer as the nearest whole number if it is a decimal number? No, Puta. Good question. Wait, I'll answer you. Sir, can we write the answer as the nearest whole number if it is a decimal number? No. If it is a decimal number, you have to keep it for 2 decimal values. With time, I will teach you these things. If it is a decimal number, you have to keep it with 2 decimal places. Okay, that's the first answer. The second question. Sir, how do you multiply the root with the whole number manually? How do you multiply the root with the whole number manually? Puta, can you send me that message again in a clearer way? How do you multiply the root with the whole number manually? Keep me the message again with a little bit of an explanation. The question that you asked, I'll give you an answer. Okay? Here, and today I ask you to, in the group, I ask you to keep the logbook with you to show you something. Today I am showing you some logbook techniques. In the same way, with time, I'll be teaching you all the simplification methods. Now, sometimes you ask the previous question, how many decimal places you have to keep? 2. Likewise, how to find the root value using the logbook. How to find the tangent values using the logbook. How to find the tangent values when there are obtuse angles using the logbooks. It's my responsibility. I'm teaching all these things. Today, I will teach you one concept. Likewise, with time. We have more time left. Before the exam, at the first place we meet simplification like that. I'm teaching you. So always when you get ready to the class, keep a logbook with you. If there's a special multiplication that we have to do using the logbook, at the moment we meet it, I'm teaching it. Okay? So there will be some teachings here on this question too. Likewise, All these numerical simplification techniques, they are taught. Get ready. Okay, in the 10th question, you will meet some of these things and they will be taught right now. Okay, find the resultant vector from magnitude and direction using the mathematical method. Now what has happened? The vector P is having a value of 5 newtons, having a value of 5 units, and vector Q is having a value of 9 units. Vector P is having a value of 5 units while vector Q is having a value of 9 units. Okay, and the in between angle is 120. Okay, I will mark the result as R. R square is equal to P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. R square, P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. What is R square? According to my selection, vector P is having a unit value of 5 square. Vector Q is having a unit value of 9 square. 2, P is 5, Q is 9, cos 120. Now you need cos 120. Can you remember I told you that these things will be very, very useful. Last 14 days time, that means not the last week, before the week before, last fortnight. What happened? I told you about these equations. How to find cos 120. Okay, R square is equal to 5 square plus 9 square plus 259 into cos 120. Can you remember? Cos 180 minus theta is equal to minus cos theta. Cos 180 minus theta is equal to minus cos theta. In the same rhythm, cos 180 minus 60 is equal to minus cos 60. Cos 180 minus 60 is equal to minus cos 60. Cos 180 minus 60 is equal to minus cos 60, following the same rhythm. From 180 minus 60, a 120 value will born, cos 120. In the other side, minus cos 60, half. Minus is from the equation, and cos 60 from the table, half. So cos 120 is equal to minus half. So R square is equal to 5 square, 25, 9 square, 81. Here it's 90, and cos 120 is minus half. Cos 120 is found using this equation, it's minus half. So R square is equal to 25 plus 80. 106 minus 45, 90 divided by 2. Okay, these are the trigonometrical equations that we have already done. Okay, so 106 minus 45, 61. R square is equal to 61, where R is equal to square root 61. R is equal to square root 61. Next week, I am teaching you to find the square root using a logbook. Today, I have to reach you an important thing in the same size. That means a very important thing. I am selecting today the method of finding alpha using the logbook. Okay, let's move. Remember, next week I am teaching you this. If you don't know to find the square root value using the logbook, I'll be there to teach you next week. Today I am teaching you a separate thing. Let's see what it is. Okay, let's see. Now, this is the way to take the result. R square is equal to P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. 5 square, 9 square, 2PQ cos 120. And this is the trigonometry. And you got the answer. Now, Puta, if it is a vector, the resultant vector, you need to find this alpha 2. They have asked you to find tan alpha. Can you remember the equation? Tan alpha is equal to Q sine theta, check your proof, over P plus Q cos theta. Tan alpha is equal to Q sine theta over P plus Q cos theta. Tan alpha Q, what is Q? It's 9. 9 sine 120 in between angle 120 P. 5 plus Q 9 cos 120. You need sine 122. You need to find sine 120 also. You need to find sine 120 also. Okay, let's find sine 120. What is the method to find sine 120? There's a very friendly equation. In trigonometry, sine 180 minus theta is equal to sine theta. Sine 180 minus theta is equal to sine theta. Sine 180 minus 60 is equal to sine 60. Sine 180 minus 60 will give birth to sine 120. In the other side, it's equalized to sine 60. From the table, we proved sine 60 is root 3 over 2. Okay, so the tan alpha value, tan alpha Q 9 sine 120 root 3 over 2 divided by P 5 plus 9 cos 120. What is it? Cos 120 minus half. Tan alpha 9 over 2 4.5. 9 over 2 4.5 root 3. 5 plus 9 multiplied by minus half. 9 multiplied by minus half minus 4.5. Tan alpha is equal to 4.5 root 3 divided by 0.5. Tan alpha is equal to 4.5 root 3 divided by 0.5. Now tan alpha is equal to 4.5 divided by 0.5, 9 root 3. Tan alpha is equal to 9 root 3. 4.5 divided by 0.5, 0.5 times 9 will be the 4.5. 9 root 3. Tan alpha is equal to 9 root 3. What is tan alpha then? 9 root 3. 9 times 1.732. Tan alpha is equal to 9 times 1.732. 9 times 1.732. 9 times 1.732. 15.588. Okay, children, today, as my logbook teaching, I will be teaching you to find these kind of things. Sometimes you might know, sometimes you might not know, but I will teach you all these kind of things you need to find through the logbook, one per day. Today, about these things. Tan alpha is equal to 15.588. What is the method to find the alpha value? Okay. In your mathematical tables book, go to the tan values. Go to the natural tangents. In your mathematical tables book, go to the natural tangents. In natural tangents, find a place that is very close to 15.588. Okay, I am going through natural tangents, and when I am moving through natural tangents, okay, I can see 15.588. 14.92 at 86 degrees 10 arcs. Horizontally in mathematical tables book under natural tangents, whereas 15.588 line. 15.588 line. In 86 degrees, 14.92 is there. 14.92 is there for 86 degrees. And here for it's 15.588. That means closely it's 15.6. 15.6. Whereas 15.6. 86 degrees 20 arcs. Okay. Tan alpha is equal to 15.588. Alpha, last week I taught you, alpha is known as tan inverse 15.588. By this tan inverse sign, you are giving the idea that you are on to mathematical tables book to find it. Tan alpha 15.588. Alpha tan inverse. The tan inverse means I'm going to logbook, I'm going to mathematical tables book to find this, and I'm going there. 15.60, 86 degrees 20 arcs. So alpha is equal to 86 degrees 20 arcs. Alpha is equal to 86 degrees 20 arcs. Okay. Now, sir, it is not that much difficult. We know to find the tan alpha in such a case. Okay, but there's another question I have added. There a minus mark comes as the tan alpha answer. And how to go through the mathematical tables book at that moment. It is what to teach next. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. Sometimes the tan alpha value ends with a minus value. So in that kind of a case, what is the way to find alpha? Let's discuss them. Okay, so what's the time? 8:42. We can continue. I'll give you the interval. I'll give you the interval around 9. Okay, let's continue. Now in the 10th question, the second part. In the 10th question, second part. In the 10th question, the second part. In the 10th question, second part, vector P is having a value 2 and vector Q is having a value 4. And in between angle is 150 degrees. In between angle is 150 degrees. Let's be more realistic. That means if it's having a value of 150, it's somewhere here. It's something like this. Isn't it? Okay. Vector P is having a value 2. Vector Q is having a value of 4. Vector P is having a value 2. Vector Q is having a value 4. And you are asked to, in between angle theta is 150. You are asked to find the resultant. You are asked to find the resultant. Okay. Okay, let's continue. I'll mark the resultant as R. This is an object. This is an object. 2 forces, P, 2 newtons. Q, 4 newtons are acting on the object while keeping an angle of 150 between them. Okay, so you are asked to find the result R. R square is equal to P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. R square is equal to P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. Okay, let's continue. R square P. 2 square Q. 4 square 2. P is 2. Q is 4. Cos theta. Theta is 150. Hello 150, how are you? We are not afraid of you. Cos 180 minus theta. Cos 180 minus theta is equal to minus cos theta, you are our friend. Cos 180 minus 30 will be equal to minus cos 30 in that manner. Cos 180 minus 30 will give birth to 150. From the other side, from the equation, you have a minus mark with cos 30 root 3 over 2 from the famous table we learned. Okay, so cos 150 is equal to minus root 3 over 2. Okay, let's substitute. R square is equal to 2 square 4, 4 square 16, 2 times 2, 4, cos 150 minus root 3 over 2. Minus root 3 over 2. 1, 2 will cancel out. R square is equal to 20, 8 times minus root 3. R square is equal to 20. You have the minus mark here. It will become a minus mark here. 16 plus 4, 20. This minus mark, 8 into root 3 minus 8 times 1.732. For the root 3, we keep it in our mind. For the root 3, we have it in our mind, 1.732. So R square is equal to 20 minus 8 times 1.732. 13.856. For you, it is enough to go with 2 decimal places. As I have the calculator, to be more accurate, I am using 3 decimal places as a habit to give you the closest answer. But remember, for you, when you are simplifying manually, you have to go to 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places. Okay, R square 20 minus 6.144. It's the next week that I'm teaching you to take the how to calculate the square root value. R is equal to 6 root 6.144. As I have the calculator, I will keep the answer. I will teach you next week. 2.47. Vector, resultant vector is having a value of 2.47. If it is a force that we are mentioning, if this is object that the force is acting on it like P is 4 newtons, if so, this is also a force. Likewise, for any vector, it's correct. If it's a force, the resultant will also become a force. Okay, I know that. It's enough. Now, this is the case. I need you to find the tan alpha value. I need to find the alpha value. Okay, let's get together to do that. Alpha value. I'm teaching you to use the logbook to that thing. I'm teaching you to use the mathematical tables book for this purpose. Today, it's my target to teach to how to find this alpha through the mathematical tables book. Okay, start. You will see something. Continue. Find tan alpha. Wait, Pudha. Is it all right if values vary in... Wait, Pudha, I'm checking the message. Sir, how to get the paper you are doing right now? Pudha, if you send me a message, I can send it. If you are a new joiner, keep me a WhatsApp message to our general number. The phone is with me. I can send you the PDF. Is it all right if values vary in last digit of decimal? It's okay, Pudha. Is it all right if values vary in last? Pudha, it's okay. It's okay. In the marking scheme, there's a range given. In the marking scheme, a range is given. The second decimal place, no matter. Sometimes the first decimal place is also acceptable to a certain extent. Don't worry about that. In the marking scheme, it's always a range that they give as the answer. No problem. Okay, wait. We'll check whether there are messages. I'll send it to you. Okay. In every month, in the first week, I have given the chance for any students to join with us and check our teaching pattern and get together with us. We are doing it in a very quality level. We are continuing our class in a high quality level. Quality is the thing. Teaching to the deepest thing, never missing a single point, 100% English, and we are maintaining our quality. Okay, I'm the physics gold medal winner in my university, and I'm the batch top. I'm the physics gold medal winner, and I'm the batch top. You can check it through my social media accounts. Who the person really I am, what my education qualifications are, and my teaching qualifications and my proven results. You can check them through the social media. So this is the thing. We are maintaining the quality. Every month in the first week, any student can join with us and check our teaching pattern and all these things. And the other 3 weeks, we are continuing it through our website. We have a separate website dedicated, and from that website, we are continuing the class for other 3 weeks. And when you have joined with us, when you are in our group, when you are in our class, when you get the password and the all components from our website, that means when you logged on to our website after the registration, you can watch the videos and go through these videos throughout the month. They are available to you in our website throughout the month. Okay, so this is the method we follow. Let's continue. Okay, now I gave you time. I gave you this information while you are finding the tan alpha here. While you are finding the tan alpha here. Okay, children, now stop your work. Now stop your work. Look at the board to find tan alpha and clear this thing. Okay. Now, what is tan alpha? When we have two vectors P and Q, listen carefully. When we have two vectors P and Q, the P and Q vectors, when the P and Q vectors, let's assume they are forces. Let's assume they are forces, as force is familiar with us. Now, two forces, 2 newtons and 4 newtons acting on a body, keeping an angle of 150 between them. What is the resultant force? You got the answer. What is the angle alpha that this resultant force makes with P? Now, one might select P as 4. Then he will get the angle that the result makes with 4. If I select, listen carefully, if I select P as 2, the alpha value I get is the angle between 2 Newton force and the result. Always remember, two vectors are P and Q, and tan alpha equation is calibrated to find the angle between the result and P. So you are free to select your P. Then you will get from tan alpha equation, you will get the angle between resultant R and P. As I have selected 2 as P, I will get the angle that the result creates with the 2 Newton force, with 2 Newton vector. You are free to select P and Q. After you select P and Q, tan alpha equation is calibrated to give you the angle between your selected P and R. My selected P is 2, So I will get the answer alpha value between r and 2. Let's find. Tan alpha is equal to q sine theta over p plus q cos theta. Tan alpha is equal to q sine theta over p plus q cos theta. Tan alpha q. What is q? It is 4. According to my selection, q is 4 sine 150 divided by p, 2 plus what is q? 4 cos 150. Cos 150. Q is 4 cos 150. Sine 180 minus theta is equal to sine theta. So, sine 180 minus 30 is equal to sine 30, where sine 150 is equal to sine 30, that means half. From the previous things we have learned. Cos 180 minus theta is equal to minus cos theta. Cos 180 minus 30 is equal to minus cos 30. Cos 180 minus 30 means cos 150 minus cos 30 root 3 over 2 from the proven table. Okay, let's substitute tan alpha 4 q is 4 sine 150 sine theta sine 150 sine 150 half sine 150 half 2 plus 4 cos 150 minus root 3 over 2 minus root 3 over 2 tan alpha 4 into half it's 2. Here it's 2. 4 into half 2. Here it's 2 plus 4 divided by 2. You have a 2 here. 2 minus root 3. Tan alpha 2. Taking 2 outside the bracket. 1 minus root 3. Tan alpha 2. Taking 2 outside the bracket. 1 minus root 3 will be inside. Tan alpha 2 cancelled now. Tan alpha 1 over 1 minus root 3, 1.732. Tan alpha 1 over 1 minus 732 minus 0.732. Tan alpha is equal to 1 over minus 0.732 minus 1 over 732. Where's my calculator? 1 over 732 minus 1 over 732 minus 1 over 0.732 minus 1.3661. Okay, simplify up to this point. Now let's discuss how to find this minus destruction. Then we will go to the interval. Okay, simplify up to this point and then I'll teach you how to find these minus kind things using the logbook. Then we'll go to the interval. Okay, finished up to this place. Finished up to this place. After you have finished up to this place, it's our duty to find a way when there's a minus value. Okay. we had two vectors P with the value 2, Q with the value 4. In between angle was 150. Now we need to find the angle between the resultant vector and the vector P, tan alpha q sin theta over P plus Q cos theta. There, the first thing is to find sin 150 and cos 150. Why? These things are inside our tan alpha equation. Sin 180 minus theta is sin theta. Sin 180 minus 30 sin 30. There, the sin 150 is found. Cos 180 minus theta minus cos theta. Cos 180 minus 30 minus cos 30. Cos 150 minus from the equation cos 30 root 3 over 2 by the proven table. Values are obtained. Then substituting here for sin 150, 2 plus 4 cos 150. Sin 150 substituted, cos 150 substituted with the minus mark correctly, simplified, and it ends here. Okay. Puta, now this is the way to manage this. Wait until I fill some ink. Okay. So, finally, we are in this place. So finally, we are in this place. There are two vectors, P and Q. P is having a value of 2, while Q is having a value of 4. It is correct to any kind of a vector. I'll use Newton's forces as it's very familiar with us. There will be a resultant force R and angle in between angle is 150. In between angle is 150. Let's say this is object, and on this object these two vectors are acting. Q 4 newtons while P is 2 newtons. Is it correct? Yes. In between angle 150 and the resultant is R. And we have the value. And we need to find the alpha. The angle which the resultant creates with P. And we have the tan alpha here. Tan alpha seems to be minus 1.3661. Tan alpha is equal to minus 1.3661. Okay. Now, this is the way. Okay. Can you remember the equation? Tan 180 minus theta is equal to minus tan theta. I have taught you tan 180 minus theta minus tan theta. When you get this kind of a situation, you need to find the tan value and you have a minus mark here. Follow this method. First write this equation, tan 180 minus theta is equal to minus tan theta. It's known. Then write like this, 180 minus theta is equal to alpha. Here you need to find alpha, no? Write it in this way. 180 minus theta is equal to alpha. 180 minus theta is equal to alpha. Okay, here you need to find tan alpha with a minus mark upon it. Tan 180 minus theta minus tan theta. A small trick. 180 minus theta is equal to alpha. Follow that. If 180 minus theta is alpha, what happens here? If 180 minus theta is equal to alpha, this 180 minus theta becomes alpha. So it's tan alpha in the left side. You have the minus mark from the equation. And tan, what is theta then? If 180 minus theta is alpha, 180 minus alpha. Can you see? 180 minus alpha will be theta. 180 minus alpha will be theta. Okay, so for the theta, it's 180 minus alpha. You have a tan value with a minus mark disturbing you. Write the equation tan 180 minus theta minus tan theta. Then write 180 minus theta is equal to alpha. Consider that. Consider 180 minus theta is equal to alpha. Then for the 180 minus theta here, you can substitute alpha minus value. For theta, you can subject theta. Theta will become 180 minus alpha. For here, you can substitute like this. Okay. Now check what is tan alpha minus 1.3661. What is tan alpha minus 1.3661? Substitute it. And you have a minus mark here. Keep it tan 180 minus alpha. Okay, now what will happen? You have minus marks in both sides. They will cancel out. 1.3661 minus marks in both sides will cancel out. 1.3661 tan 180 minus alpha. Okay, so turn it other side. Tan 180 minus alpha is equal to 1.3661. Tan 180 minus alpha 1.3661. What is 180 minus alpha then? Tan inverse 1.3661. Tan 180 minus alpha 1.3661. Now the minus mark vanished. Tan 180 minus alpha 1.3661. So 180 minus alpha as a within brackets 180 minus alpha as a whole value. Tan inverse 1.366. What do you mean by tan inverse? Tan inverse means tan 180 minus alpha is this much. To find 180 minus alpha portion, to find 180 minus alpha portion, I move into the logbook. I move into the mathematical tables. That is given by tan inverse. Here this minus 1, it is not a power to minus 1. Normally when we see minus 1, it's x to power minus 1 is equal to 1 over x. It's not that. It's not that. X to power minus 1, 1 over x. It's completely something different. This is a different symbol with a different meaning. If tan 180 minus alpha is 1.3661, 180 minus alpha is tan inverse 1.3661. What do you mean by this tan inverse? I am willing to, what is the meaning? I am willing to go for the mathematical tables in order to find it. That's the meaning. Okay, 180 minus alpha. If you are willing, then go and find. Where's the 1.3661 value? Where's the 1.3661 value? 180 minus alpha here. What is the 1.3661 value? Let's find it. In natural tangents, I need to find a 1.3661 value. 1.3597, 53 degrees 40 arcs. At 53 degrees 40 arcs horizontally, look at 53 degrees at 40 and vertically at 40 arcs there lies 1.3597 1.3597 lies at 53 degrees 40 arcs. 53 degrees 40 arcs, 1.3597. From there, you have another 63 remaining to reach this value. Okay, at 43 degrees 40 arcs, it 1.3597. Our value 1.3661. From 1.3597 up to 1.3661, another 64. Another 64 is missing. Go to the mean difference and find a 64. From here to here, a 64 is missing. value 64 is missing. When you come to 53 degrees 40 arcs, it fills with 1.3597, but our value is 1.3661. 64 is missing. Check the mean difference to find a 64 value. Closer to 64 is 66. You need 8 arcs. We don't have exactly 64, but I can find a value 66 at the mean difference equal to 8 arcs. 8 arcs. At 8 arcs, I can fulfill my requirement. Okay, so at 1.3597 was there at 53 degrees 40 arcs. For our value, there was another 64 remaining. To catch that 64, I went to the right side. There 66 is possible. That's the closest. Value 66 is possible at the 8th arc. Adding that, so 53 degrees 48 arcs. 48 arcs. Okay, so 180 minus alpha is equal to 53 degrees 48 arcs. 180 minus alpha is equal to 53 degrees 48 arcs. Okay, now alpha is equal to, minus alpha will become plus alpha, 180 minus 53 degrees, 180 minus 53 degrees 48 arcs will be alpha. Isn't it nice? I know in your O levels, some of you don't know. Some of you have shorter methods, but one day in your life, you have to know the full version. I will also suggest you a shorter method, but at least one time in your life, you have to know what's going on here. If not, your life is not complete as a science student. You have to know what's going on here. It's okay if you didn't get it at the first time, you have the video in the website. Look it and watch it again and again until you get it. Do it yourself in a paper again and again and get it. It's up to you, and you can. That's the courage. Okay, nothing to worry. Okay, now how to? I know some of you know this. For them, it's okay. Some of them don't know. It's a mixture in the society about these mathematical tables that's going on here in our country. Some of them know it. Some of them know it. Some of them don't. Some of them don't know. Some of them have forgotten. Some of them know shorter methods, but not the full version. While I'm teaching for these 2.5 years, I'll correct all of them. Okay. So 180 minus 53 degrees 48 arcs will be alpha. What is the easier way to do this? We are not keeping this as 180 degrees. We are not keeping it as 180 degrees. We are keeping it as 179 degrees 60 arcs. That's the easiest way. Not 180, it's equal to 179 degrees 60 arcs minus 53 degrees 48 arcs. Bringing 180 degrees to 179 degrees 60 arcs will be easier. Minus 53 degrees 48 arcs. 12 arcs. 9 minus 3, 6. 17 minus 5, 12. 126 degrees 12 arcs. Alpha is equal to 126 degrees 12 arcs. Okay, before the interval, I'll explain it one time and give you a shorter method. Some of you know this thing, Puta. Okay, you can continue, but one day you will find something that you also don't know. In mathematical tables book, there are many kind of things that you have to know. Today, some might know this, some might not know. But in the next day, you don't know, but the other person knows. There's a mixture in the society about how they use these mathematical tables. I will clear them all. Okay. So here, this is the way. Shall I explain it one time? Before giving you a shorter method, before suggesting you a shorter method, shall I explain it one time? Now, we were finding the angle alpha between the vector P and the resultant vector. In order to do that, we simplified tan alpha is equal to q sin theta over P plus Q cos theta. When simplifying this, tan alpha is equal to q sin theta over p plus q cos theta. First thing, we need the equations sin 180 minus theta sin theta, cos 180 minus theta minus cos theta. Take the values from that thing, it's stored, and simplify. After the simplification, you ended up with tan alpha giving a minus value. For most of the children, it's a headache. Tan alpha minus 1.3661. Tan alpha minus 1.3661. So how to solve it? In such a case, first write the equation I have taught you. Tan 180 minus theta minus tan theta. Tan 180 minus theta minus tan theta. Then for 180 minus theta, consider it as alpha. Tan 180 minus theta tan theta, and for 180 minus theta, consider it as alpha. Tan 180 minus theta minus tan theta. If you consider 180 minus theta as alpha, this side will become tan alpha. Minus tan, subject theta from here. If 180 minus theta alpha, 180 minus theta alpha, 180 minus alpha will become theta. For theta, now substitute as 180 minus alpha. For tan alpha, now you have the value minus 1.3661. Okay, the minus mark is there also, here also, and 180 minus alpha. Now from this trick, you have two minus marks in both sides, and it's cancelled. So how it ends? 1.3661 is equal to tan 180 minus alpha. And tan 180 minus alpha, 1.3661. 180 minus alpha is the complete angle. Tan inverse 1.3661. What do you mean by tan inverse? Tan inverse means the message saying I am willing to go for the mathematical tables book in order to find this. Okay, 180 minus alpha. Go for the mathematical tables book. In the mathematical tables book, find the closest place, closest relatively smaller place where you get the value. Closest for 1.3661, but small, relatively small. The value is 1.3597 at 53 degrees 40 arcs. From there, another 64 is needed. To find that 64, I went to the right side. At the right side, I got the closest value as 66 with the 8 arc value. Add it 53 degrees 48 arcs. So 180 minus alpha as a full version is equal to 53 degrees 48 arcs. So 180 minus 53 degrees 48 arcs will become alpha. Don't waste your time keeping 180 here. 180 means 179 degrees 60 arcs minus 53 degrees 48 arcs. 60 minus 48, 12. 179 is 53, 126. You got the answer. Now, before the interval, keep this shorter method with you. Now, are you ready to catch the shorter method? This is the shorter method. If you get a tan alpha value with a minus sign, forget that minus sign, and for the numerical value, find alpha. If you get a minus value as the final tan alpha answer, forget that minus sign and take the alpha value through the logbook for the numerical value 1.3661. Then the angle you get, after you get that angle, take the 180 minus alpha value. Then subtract that angle from 180. That is the answer you need. Okay, with the star mark, write the shorter method. With the star mark, write the shorter method. In one time of your life, you need to know what really happened. And then you need to remember the shorter method. Write the shorter method. If I don't know whatever. Right? If you get a minus value as the tan alpha answer. If you get a minus value as the tan alpha answer. If you get a minus value as the tan alpha answer. If you get the minus value as the tan alpha answer, forget that minus sign for a while. Forget that minus sign for a while. Forget that minus sign for a while. And find the alpha value. Find the alpha angle. Find the alpha angle for the magnitude. Find the alpha angle for the magnitude using the mathematical tables. Find the alpha value for the magnitude using mathematical tables. After you get an angle as the answer, 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 subtract that answer from 180 degrees. After you get an angle as an answer, subtract that answer from 180 degrees. From 180 degrees. This final answer is the, this final answer is the angle, this final answer is the angle that you are looking for, that you are looking for, that you are looking for. Okay, that you are looking for. Shall we repeat that again? Shorter method. If you get a minus answer as the final tan alpha value, forget that minus sign and just consider tan alpha as 1.3661 and find where the alpha answer is. After you get that answer, subtract that answer from 179 degrees 60 arcs. The answer you get now is the answer you are looking for. Remember that in your life, don't waste time to find these things at the end of grade 13 where you have many other things to do. Use this period to solve this kind of unwanted headaches and solve them at the very first moment where you see them. Next week, I will teach you how to find the square root values using the logbook. Okay, so this is the lesson about the mathematical tables book today, and using that thing we found the answer for R with the angle. Now before the interval, I want to show you something. So what is the answer for alpha? 126 degrees 12 arcs. That means alpha is 126 degrees 12 arcs. What is the shorter method? When you get a minus value for the tan alpha, when you get a minus value for the tan alpha, forget the minus value, find the tan alpha just considering it as the magnitude. That means find tan alpha for 1.3661 without considering the minus mark. Take the answer for alpha. You will get the answer for alpha, but it's not the real value. Subtract that value from 180. The final answer you get is the answer that you are looking for. Okay? From that method, now it is 126 degrees 12 arcs. Students, can you see here? If alpha is equal to 126 degrees 12 arcs, what I have drawn is not correct. If alpha is 126, this is the direction of the resultant. Look carefully. If alpha is 126, it's also an obtuse angle. It's also an obtuse angle. It's something like this. Alpha 126 degrees 12 arcs. Alpha 126 degrees 12 arcs means it's something like this. Can you see? It also obtuse angle. What can you see? Tell about that. It should be a obtuse angle. Why? Q is the larger value. Q is the larger value. So the resultant is biased to the larger value. Resultant vector is biased to the larger magnitude vector. Can you see that? Resultant means the final answer of the combination of two vectors. Resultant means the final answer of the combination of vectors. So it is biased to the high magnitude vector that is participating more. What is the high magnitude vector? 2 or 4? 4. So the resultant is biased for 4. That's why resultant is close to 4. Resultant is close to 4. 126 from this side. It's very close to 4. Why? 4 is the large magnitude vector. It should be, it's biased. Why America is biased? Why the NATO is biased for America? America is the country that is giving more money for the NATO. So NATO is not telling anything about when America is doing bad things. They are not telling anything. They keep their mouth shut. Why? America spends. That's why. Like this. What happens here? What happens here? Here 126 is a large value from this side. It's obtuse angle. It shows us that the resultant is close to the 4 Newton vector. It should be resultant is biased to the vector that is having a higher magnitude. Okay, write it as a star mark. Write it as a star mark, the final point before the interval. Write this as a star mark. Write this as a star mark. It seems that resultant is moving closer to the high magnitude vector. It seems that the resultant is moving closer to the high magnitude vector. Remember that. It seems the resultant is moving closer to the high magnitude vector. Resultant is moving closer to the high magnitude vector. It's the behavior of the resultant. It's close to the high magnitude vector. It's biased to the high magnitude vector. Know that. Okay? Okay, now it's 9:27. Now it's 9:27. After the interval, we will meet at 9:45. We'll meet at 9:45. From 9:45, we'll carry on until 10:35, 10:40. Okay? Okay, let's meet at 9:45. Yeah? Starting at 9:45.